Before this video begins, I'd just like to give an extra special thank you to my patron, the Beast Boss. Links to join the Patreon can be found in the description down below. The Doctor Who social media accounts have recently been hiding secret Gallifreyan messages in some of their social media posts. But what did these messages actually lead to? Okay, so I recently covered these secret Gallifreyan messages in the latest episode of my podcast, the TARDIS Coffee Break podcast, and we were speculating what these secret messages could be leading to. From a new trailer, a season 3 announcement, stuff like that, but we now know what these Gallifreyan messages were leading to. But before we get into that, what are these secret messages I'm talking about in the first place? Okay, so the next topic, before we get on to the bigger season 3 updates that I'm going to be talking about for most of this episode, is that people have noticed, particularly from, I think, this particular image, that there's been some Gallifreyan messages secretly hidden in Doctor Who's social media posts, particularly the pictures that they've been posting on Instagram and I think on Twitter as well, as far as I remember. They'd been happening before this particular post, but this was the one where it was the most noticeable, and then some people went back and saw it on this other post from the Devil's Cord behind the scenes, and this post from 73 Yards. So Ivy Hanover, or protagonist Ivy, who is one of those Twitter accounts that I'm quite familiar with, and I've seen some of her videos as well on her YouTube page. She's familiar with the Gallifreyan alphabet, specifically the one that's been used for this, which the BBC have been adopting more and more. I believe the alphabet that's being used here is kind of like a fan-made Gallifreyan alphabet, and the one that was initially being used in the show was just kind of made up and you couldn't actually translate it, but I know it's been making its way into the actual show itself recently as well. I think it's possible that even the Gallifreyan on the 15th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver might be in this fan-made Gallifreyan language as well. But Ivy is very familiar with that version of Gallifreyan and was able to translate some of these, well, all of these secret messages, at least that we've been able to find so far, from the Doctor Who social media posts that we've had with these on them. So I believe this 73 Yards one was the first one that we'd actually been able to find, the earliest posted one that we've at least been able to find, and Ivy has managed to translate this post, this particular secret message on this post, as saying hello. So it's a pretty simple one to get started off with. It just says hello, and if you can't see it, it's just down this bit here underneath, well, on Ncuti's knee, basically. It's a little bit more difficult to make out here, so she's kind of struggled a little bit to translate it at first, thinking that it was initially a B, an E, 2 J's, and an O, but then she managed to find some extra modifiers that are part of the language that mean it actually does say hello. So that's the first earliest one that we were able to find, I think, or that everybody else was able to find, after we found that really obvious one in the Rogue behind the scenes picture. The second one is this Devil's Cord one, which you can see just underneath the camera here. It's a bit smaller. It's a little bit easier to spot in this one because it's in white and it's kind of against a darker background, but I still don't think people spotted this at the time, including myself. This one apparently, I think, translates to "Can you hear me?", which I don't think is a reference to the episode Can You Hear Me. I think it's just, you know, building up on this these secret messages. They're getting more specific as they go on. And then this most recent one we got was on a Rogue behind the scenes picture and was a lot more obvious because it was against Ncuti's white shirt and it was in black and it was a bit bigger than the previous messages. And this one apparently translates to "Keep your eyes peeled." So I don't think we've had any more of these since this one, and it doesn't seem to have been leading to any particular announcement like we thought it was. We thought maybe it was going to lead to a trailer on Graham Norton or something like that, but it didn't end up happening. It could just be the social media intern just kind of having a little bit of fun, but the fact that they've been getting more and more specific, and this is saying to keep your eyes peeled, it does kind of indicate that something is going to happen soon. Potentially the more obvious answer to that is that it's going to be a trailer for Joy to the World, but I'm not entirely sure when we're going to get that. For me personally, I am thinking that it's possible that we're not going to get that announcement or that trailer until like the 23rd of November or something like that. They'll probably save it for Doctor Who Day, but I would like to see it a bit sooner than that, so that would be nice if that does happen, and if this is hinting at an announcement soon. I know some people as well were also thinking this could be hinting at an official confirmation and announcement of Doctor Who Season 3, but as we'll get onto later, that didn't end up happening, and I think that's unlikely to be announced anytime soon, but like I said, we'll get to that later on in this video with the main topic. Okay, so that's what these secret messages were. That's where they were all showing up and what they all translated to, but what were these secret messages actually building up to? Okay, so I just wanted to do this quick little video to talk about how you can support the channel if that's something that you want to do, if you like my videos and you want to support me in any way. The first main option is obviously my Patreon page, where you can get early access to videos, exclusive videos, videos such as classic reviews and updates and things like that. The first way that you can support this channel on Patreon is as a free member. That is an option that I have available that's completely free. You just need a Patreon account, I think. And with that, you get a free monthly newsletter, some little updates such as thumbnail previews, and also some free polls that I've recently started doing where you can greenlight which videos you want me to prioritize and make next. So that's the free membership option on my Patreon. Next, I also have the supporter tier, which is $1.99 a month, where you get early access to videos. I tend to post them pretty much as soon as they're ready, so it's not even always just 24-hour early access. It can often be up to like a week before the video comes out. You also get access to exclusive videos such as classic reviews, which is also one of the collections that I've made available for purchase if you just want to watch the classic reviews and not get any of the other benefits. Once you've bought it, anytime I update that collection in the future, you should get access to those videos. And my next two tiers are the producer tier, which is $4.99 a month, which has everything else in the previous tier, but you also get to commission videos for this channel. So if there's a particular video you want to see me make, whether that be a review of a particular Doctor Who episode or maybe even something not Doctor Who related, if you're subscribed to this tier, you can just drop me a message and let me know what video you want me to make and I'll make it. And the final tier is a sponsor tier for $8.99 a month, which once again, you get everything else in the previous tiers, including the producer tier where you can commission videos, but you also get to sponsor a segment of my videos, whether that be your own YouTube channel or some other thing that you want me to talk about, you want me to shout out in a video. I do also offer the same tiers on YouTube memberships, but obviously there's less things I can do. I can't do everything that you can do on Patreon for YouTube memberships. Alternatively, if monthly memberships aren't really your thing or is something that you're not able to do for whatever reason, but you still want to support the channel, I do also have a Ko-fi page where you can make a one-off donation to buy me a coffee, or you can change the price to whatever you want. But I also have a couple of extra options on here where you can commission a specific video for me to do on the channel for a one-off purchase starting at £5. And once again, I also have the option to sponsor a video as well. But I do just want to mention this is just an option if there's any reason or any way that you want to support me. If that's something you don't want to do or can't do, support the channel just by watching my videos, liking my videos, leaving some comments down below. That's absolutely fine as well, and I appreciate every single one of you. So it turns out these secret Gallifreyan messages that were hidden in social media posts were actually just building up to an official Gallifreyan translator for the Doctor Who website. So this is the official post announcing that official Gallifreyan translator, and if we go on this link here, it sends us to the official Gallifreyan translator app, and you can basically type in anything you want in this box. And once you've done that, it shows up here and you can change all the colours to whatever colours you want and the background colour and stuff like that. So that seems to be what all of these secret Gallifreyan messages were actually leading up to. It wasn't a trailer or any official announcement about season 2 or 3 of Doctor Who. It was just an official translator app. But like I mentioned in my episode of the podcast, I know that these Gallifreyan messages are from a fan-made Gallifreyan language that's been being used for a while now. And so I thought it was a little bit weird that they came out with an official Gallifreyan translator on the Doctor Who website that seems to be using this fan-made Gallifreyan language. And it turns out, according to Ivy Hanover, who I discussed in the podcast episode, that they have confirmed with the creator of this Gallifreyan language, Lauren Sherman, that they were never consulted or asked about using their fan-made circular Gallifreyan system or changing it slightly and then using it as its official Gallifreyan language. As we can see from this, I believe it's a Discord message between protagonist Ivy and Lauren Sherman. Now, with that being said, Lauren Sherman has always been open, apparently, about everyone being able to use it, sell things using it. But as Ivy Hanover says, for the official BBC to use it without credit and slightly changing it just feels a little bit icky and weird, and I do have to agree with that. But obviously, I don't think the BBC have technically done anything wrong here. It just feels a little bit weird that they've basically taken this fan-made circular Gallifreyan language and made their own translator, official translator, out of it, meaning that the original fan-made translator website is going to get used less than the official one. But let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Like I said, I don't think the BBC have technically done anything wrong here, but it does feel a little bit icky and weird, like Ivy says. But that's just what I think about this. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. And if you want to watch the full episode of the TARDIS Coffee Break podcast where I discuss this and some season 2 and 3 news and the new figures and stuff like that, I'll make sure to have the full episode linked in the end screen of this video. And here's a little clip as to what that episode is like. So this has had a lot of people worried that obviously season 3 is a little bit up in the air at the moment as to whether it's actually going to happen and when it's going to happen, if it's going to be delayed. Because like I've mentioned in the past,